The private jet soared above the clouds, slicing through the afternoon sky like a silver arrow. Inside, Marcus Reed, a 42-year-old self-made millionaire and CEO of Reed Tech Industries, leaned back in his seat, exhausted but content. He had just closed $1 billion deal in London. A dream come true for a man who'd started from nothing in South Carolina. As the cabin lights dimmed, Marcus smiled politely when the flight attendant, Amber Collins, approached. She had that perfect plastic smile that never quite reached her eyes. "Would you care for your meal now, sir?" she asked. "Yes, please," Marcus replied warmly. He'd skipped breakfast, and the thought of a hot meal felt comforting after a long week of meetings. Moments later, Amber returned with a tray. The steak looked fine at first glance, but as soon as Marcus cut into it, a foul odor hit him. He froze, staring at the green fuzz covering the edge of the meat. Mold. Actual mold. Marcus blinked, confused. "Excuse me, this food's spoiled," he said, keeping his tone calm. Amber rolled her eyes. "Sir, it's probably just the lighting. I served this to the other passengers, and no one complained." "There are no other passengers," Marcus said, puzzled. He chartered the jet for a private return flight. Amber's smirk faltered, but only for a moment. "Look, maybe your taste is more sensitive. I'm sure it's fine." Marcus pushed the tray away, trying to hold back his anger. He'd faced racism before, in boardrooms, negotiations, and casual dinner parties. But never like this. Not when he was paying for a premium flight that cost more than most people's yearly rent. He asked to speak to the captain. Amber scoffed. "He's busy flying, sir. Maybe relax a bit? People like you always make a scene." The words cut deeper than he expected. "People like you." That's what she said. Marcus stared out the window, fists clenched under the table. He'd worked too hard to be humiliated in the sky, but he wasn't about to lose his temper. Not yet. As the clouds parted below, Marcus's phone buzzed. A message from his assistant, Jared, read, "Everything set for the company's partnership with Skyfly Airlines? They're excited about your speech after landing." Marcus looked at Amber again. He suddenly realized something. This flight belonged to that same airline. And by the time they landed, she was going to regret every word. Marcus sat quietly for the next half hour, his mind racing beneath a calm exterior. He wasn't a man who lashed out easily. He believed in dignity, even when others didn't show him any. But the way Amber smirked as she cleared the untouched tray made his stomach turn more than the spoiled food ever could. He stared at his reflection in the window, a powerful man who had built an empire from scratch, still being treated like he didn't belong. His thoughts drifted back to his mother's words. "Never let them see you lose control, baby." Power as calm as the flight neared New York, Marcus tapped open his laptop. He began drafting a message, not to complain, but to document every detail: the moldy steak, Amber's words, the dismissive attitude. He attached a few discreet photos he'd taken of the meal. It wasn't just about him. It was about respect for every black traveler who'd been mistreated and told to relax. Amber strutted past, her heels clicking against the cabin floor. "Feeling better now, sir?" she said, her tone dripping with sarcasm. Marcus didn't respond. He simply looked up at her with steady eyes and said, "What's your full name, Miss Collins?" She blinked. "Excuse me?" "Your full name. For the report I'll be filing with Skyfly Corporate." Amber's confidence faltered. "Oh, come on. You're really going to make a big deal out of a little mix-up?" Marcus smiled faintly. No, I'm going to make sure no one ever experiences what I just did. She rolled her eyes again, muttering something under her breath. But Marcus didn't need to hear it. He knew the type. She thought she could get away with it because of who she thought he wasn't. As they began their descent, the captain's voice echoed through the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be landing shortly in New York. Thank you for flying with Skyfly Private. Marcus closed his laptop and adjusted his suit. The anger inside him had cooled into something sharper. Resolve. When the plane touched down, his assistant Jared would be waiting on the runway with the Skyfly executive team. Amber had no idea that the man she had just insulted wasn't just her passenger. He was about to become her boss. The fields screeched as the jet touched down on the tarmac at JFK Airport. Marcus exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of every second leading up to this moment. The cabin lights flickered back on, and Amber put on her professional smile again. This time, with just a hint of nervousness. "Hope you enjoyed your flight, sir," she said flatly, avoiding eye contact. "Oh, I did," Marcus replied, his tone calm but firm. "I learned a lot about customer service today." Amber forced a laugh. "Well, we aim to please." Before she could say more, the intercom crackled. "Mr. Reed, the Skyfly executive team is waiting for you outside the jet," the captain announced. Amber froze. "Mr. Reed," she repeated, her voice trembling slightly. "As in Marcus Reed, from Reed Tech." Marcus simply nodded, adjusting his tie. "That's right." Her face drained of color. The same Marcus Reed whose company had just signed a major partnership with Skyfly Airlines. The one that would merge their onboard technology systems under his leadership. As the door opened, a rush of cold air swept in. On the tarmac stood Jared, his loyal assistant, alongside Paul Henderson, the CEO of Skyfly Airlines, and two corporate managers. Cameras from the company's media team were ready to capture the handshake and welcome ceremony. Amber quickly stepped aside, but Marcus stopped near the exit. "Amber," he said quietly, "before I leave, fetch your supervisor. I'd like a quick word." Paul looked puzzled. "Something wrong, Marcus?" "Oh, not really," Marcus said, his voice smooth. "Just an important staff performance matter, one that reflects your brand." Within minutes, Amber's supervisor arrived, confusion all over her face. Marcus turned to her, explaining every detail. The spoiled meal, the dismissive tone, the racial remark. His tone never rose, but every word landed heavy. Amber tried to interrupt, stammering, "He's exaggerating." "I didn't mean it like that." Marcus held up his phone, showing the time-stamped photos of the moldy steak. "I don't exaggerate, Miss Collins. I document silence filled the jet." Paul's expression hardened. "Amber, please gather your belongings. You're relieved of duty effective immediately." Her eyes widened in disbelief. "You're firing me? Over him?" Paul nodded firmly. "Over your behavior." Marcus stepped off the plane into the brisk New York air, his stride steady. The cameras clicked as he shook Paul's hand, but he barely noticed. Amber's shocked face behind the cabin window was all the justice he needed. Marcus walked alongside Paul Henderson toward the VIP lounge inside the terminal. The cameras and noise faded behind them, replaced by a calm, polished silence. Paul clapped him on the shoulder, still uneasy from what had just unfolded. "Marcus," he began carefully, "I didn't know something like that could happen on one of our private flights. Don't apologize for her," Marcus interrupted gently. "Just make sure it never happens again." Paul nodded. "You have my word." I'll review the entire crew training program personally. Inside the lounge, Jared handed Marcus a coffee and whispered, "You handled that like a king, sir." Marcus smirked. No need to shout when the truth is loud enough. They sat down for the scheduled meeting with Skyfly's top brass. Laptops opened, contracts were laid out, and the atmosphere quickly shifted from tense to businesslike. Paul cleared his throat. "Marcus, before we finalize, there's one more thing. Your leadership image matters to us. We'd like you to be the public face of this partnership. You represent the values we want Skyfly to embody: respect, innovation, equality." Marcus paused, glancing out the glass wall toward the runway. The same runway where Amber had once believed she held power over him. Now, the roles were reversed in ways she couldn't have imagined. "Then let's make this partnership stand for something real," Marcus said. "Not just money, but humanity. Every flight should feel safe and respected, no matter the color of a passenger's skin." The room fell silent for a moment. Even the executives who'd only joined for the business deal were nodding now, visibly moved. "That's exactly the message the world needs," Paul said finally. "You have my full support." As the meeting wrapped up, a public relations manager entered, hesitant. "Mr. Reed, Miss Collins has requested to speak with you privately before she leaves the airport." Marcus exchanged a look with Jared. "She's still here?" "Yes, sir. She said she wanted to apologize." Marcus leaned back in his chair, thinking for a long moment. "Set it up," he said quietly. "Everyone deserves a chance to own their mistakes." Jared nodded and stepped out to make the call. Marcus folded his hands on the table and exhaled deeply. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about closure. And maybe, just maybe, redemption. Marcus sat alone in the quiet conference room, the hum of jets echoing faintly through the glass walls. He stared at his reflection in the black tabletop, thinking of how quickly the world could shift. From humiliation to justice, from anger to calm. A knock at the door broke his thoughts. Jared opened it slightly. "She's here," he said softly. Amber stepped in, eyes red and puffy. Her posture was different now. No arrogance, no pretense, just remorse. She clutched her uniform cap in both hands, trembling slightly. "Mr. Reed," she began, voice unsteady. "I came to say I'm sorry. For the way I acted, for the things I said." Marcus looked at her quietly, studying her face. "Are you sorry for what you said, or for getting caught saying it?" Amber swallowed hard, her lip trembling. "I'm sorry for both. I judged you the second you stepped on that plane. I thought you were just another demanding passenger. I didn't know who you were." Marcus leaned forward. "That's the problem, Amber. Respect shouldn't depend on who someone is. It should be the standard for everyone." Tears welled in her eyes. "You're right," she whispered. "I've been bitter for a long time, taking it out on the wrong people. I lost my job, and maybe I deserve that, but I don't want to lose my humanity too." For a long moment, Marcus said nothing. Then with a deep sigh, he stood. "You did something ugly, but you also came here to face it. Most people wouldn't." He walked over to the window, looking out at the bright runway. "Skyfly's retraining program is starting next month," he said finally. "If you're willing to attend and really change, I'll recommend they reconsider your termination. On probation." Amber's eyes widened in disbelief. "You'd do that? After what I did?" Marcus nodded slowly. "Because power means nothing if it can't show grace." She broke down crying, whispering, "Thank you." As she left, Jared re-entered, smiling faintly. You sure about that, boss? Marcus looked toward the departing plane, his reflection blending with the sky. Yeah, he said softly. Sometimes the best revenge isn't firing someone. It's teaching them why they were wrong. He adjusted his tie, heading out of the room with quiet confidence. Because true power isn't in revenge, it's in restraint. Thank you so much for watching this story till the end. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe even learned something from it. If you'd like to hear more stories like this, full of life lessons, drama, and emotions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss an update. Your support means the world, and it helps me keep bringing you more inspiring and unforgettable stories. Stay tuned because more amazing stories are on the way.